Today marks the 5-year anniversary of the channel. I have been making YouTube content for 5 years. That is insane. Where has that time gone? I honestly could not tell you. 5 years of making YouTube videos, and I've loved every moment of it. I mean, I've had a few wobbles here and there regarding YouTube stuff, but I'm pretty consistent nowadays, I think. I don't know. It depends. Some of the things that, happened on the channel weren't necessarily within my realm of control because I was having technical difficulties and stuff was going on in personal life. So, it's one of those things. But 5 years of making YouTube content. What a journey it has been. I know for a fact that the channel has grown and evolved so much over these last 5 years. I've grown and evolved a tremendous amount over these last 5 years. If you go back to the start of the channel, that's a different person. That's a different me. It's still me, it's just not the me I am today. It's me of the past, it's me when I was back in school, because I started the channel back when I was in school, so it's one of those things. It really is one of those things. I cannot believe it has been 5 years of making YouTube videos. That is insane. There have been a few breaks that I've taken because it does get quite, not difficult, but tiring making videos, editing videos, uploading, making posts, and doing all the stuff. I'm not saying it's hard by any means, I'm just saying it's tiring. So there have been situations where I've taken breaks. But this video isn't meant to be about that sort of thing. Today I want to just kind of talk about the journey that the channel's taken, the journey that we've taken, and the journey that you've experienced along the way. Now, I know not everyone on this channel who currently views the channel has been here since the beginning, but that doesn't matter. You're here now and that's what counts. I appreciate every single one of you. This year is my goal to reach 1,000 subscribers. We are so unbelievably close. We are less than 100 subscribers away from reaching 1,000. If you asked me back when I started the channel if I ever thought of hitting 1,000, I would have said I would be lucky to have 100. And that was a big number back then. It still is a big number now, but the fact I'm almost on 4 digits is insane. I love making videos. I play games in my own time anyway. I enjoy playing video games, and I feel like YouTube's kind of my way of my extrovert side coming out, because I'm quite an introverted person. So when I make videos, it just, I don't know, I feel so free and open and expressive, So that's one of the reasons I love doing it. And my goal has always been for YouTube is to build an audience so I can help people. Because throughout years, like literally years, I've watched YouTubers play games, all sorts of different content creators, and they've helped me through so much stuff. Simply just watching their videos, watching all their charity live streams, the efforts and things they do for the community and so on. That's the type of person that I want to be. I want to be in a position where I can help as many people as I can, and that's why I started my YouTube channel, because I thought, you know what, I've looked up to these people all my life, why not try and become one of them? And that's exactly what I'm doing. This is why I make videos. I love making videos, I want to help people like YouTube has helped me. So that's pretty much the goal for the channel, but I actually want to kind of talk about probably what you're seeing on screen. So it's probably been an array of different clips from different games that we've played throughout the years. So it will be in chronological order, most likely, but you're probably just seeing highlights of, some of my favorite series, some of the weird and wacky indie games that I've played, and just kind of going through what the channel's been through and grown through over the years. I mean, I know now that I am a completely different person. Back then, you can tell in my super early videos, I was not a confident speaker at all. I still probably couldn't talk in front of a crowd, but I probably could. I'd still be anxious. That's a normal thing to go through, but I'd be a lot less anxious now as I would have been 5 years ago, which is good. That's a lot of self-growth, and I have to thank you guys for that. You guys are what make this possible. I've got so much support. I get so many comments, and it really is heartwarming to see. I get so many comments saying, you know, how do you not have this amount of subscribers? Or, you know, why is your channel so underrated? And it's like, oh, that's so nice to hear. Thank you. But, you know, it's at the same time, I kind of look at that and like, well, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. I just make videos. Maybe it's because I swear and YouTube's algorithm doesn't like that. But that's part of me. I don't swear, just to use profanity. I swear to express myself. So if I stopped swearing, I'd stop being me. I don't want to not be me in my videos. That just seems an altered version of me, and that doesn't seem as genuine as an authentic person. So I'm probably never going to stop feckin' swearing. I have substitute the word feck, which you've probably noticed in recent videos, but I just like saying feck, you know? I watch a lot of YouTubers. One of them says feck quite often, and, you know, I just sort of picked up the word. I like the word. It's fun to say. It's just feckin' fun to say feck, you know? It's just one of those things. It really is just one of those things. So, currently, I have no idea what you're seeing on screen, but you're probably going through, like I said, the years that the channel has been on. I mean, it's been a weird journey, to say the least. It's been a very weird journey. From when I started this, I remember specifically one instance when I was in school. I believe I was in maths class, and we had access to the laptops because we were doing an online thing. I didn't really feel like doing schoolwork that day. I don't know if any of you can relate to that. If you just have a day where you're like, oh, I just can't. I don't have the mental capacity to do that at the moment. So I instead went on to Paint and made some of my earliest thumbnails, the game clips that used to be on the channel. Now, the reason the game clips are there is simply because I wanted to get into the habit of uploading regularly. They weren't because I was like, yes, this is going to be awesome content. So I was just like, right, I've got a whole bunch of game clips on my Xbox. I know my friends have some. I asked them and they said I could use them. So I got into the habit of uploading those, and I called them funny moment videos because it was a singular moment from the video. They were really short. They're still at the start of the channel if you want to go and take a look. It's very old at this point. But on the weekends, I believe it was Saturday, I would upload a edited funny moments video, which started off super short, but got longer as time went on, and then eventually the channel changed, and I started making gameplay content. I believe one of the earliest series that I started was Typoman, which was a 3-part series of a game. It was a puzzle game. You'd be a little person made of letters, and you'd have to make letters and words out of the letters that you found in the environment. It was a really cool game. It's a game that I remember and cherish quite dearly as one of the earliest games that I played on the channel. There was also Candleman. That was quite an early puzzle game experience. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm a big fan of puzzle games. I always have been. Puzzle games are my jam. You know, I do like me a good puzzle here and there. We've played, I mean, even in recent times. It's not as recent times, but we played through The Witness and, you know, the Talos Principle. Those games were absolutely fantastic. But, you know, things just kind of grow and evolve over time. I still play puzzle games. I play quite a lot of puzzle games, but I play a lot of different stuff that I don't think I necessarily would have played back when the channel started. That's because as the channel went on, I kind of wanted to branch out and play games I wouldn't usually yet necessarily play. So that's why I started doing as many indie games as I started doing, and so many probably not heard of games or smaller games in the grand spect. I don't play a lot of AAA games on the channel, and that is a choice. That is something I have decided, because as much as I love playing AAA games, they're not quite the content I'm going for. I mean, I still play big games, you know, I play through them, I just don't play them strictly like a lot of people would. Some people have channels branded to one game and one game only, and I never wanted that to be the case. So, you know, that's why that ended up being a thing. We did have a lot of games going on at the beginning, though. I remember, like I said, we had Typoman, Candleman. I just started Outlast. We had Zombie Night Terror, which was an awesome game. I believe we also started Little Nightmares at that point in time. So, you know, I had quite a lot going on. I also believe BioShock had started at that point. Yeah, I think so. It's weird to think how long ago some of this stuff was and how vividly I remember it. And that is because I cherish every moment on the channel. And back at that point on the channel, actually, I had not the best computer in the world. It was, you know, it was decent. It couldn't run games at super high quality. So there was one series. It was, in fact, it's the only FNAF type game that I've played on the channel. It was called The Joy of Creation. I, in fact, played The Joy of Creation Story Mode and Reborn, and it was so unbelievably laggy. I had to run it at, like, the lowest graphics settings just so I could have the video, like, record properly. But I remember being, okay, I'm not going to worry about the quality of the game. I just want to have fun with this because I did really enjoy myself while playing those. I really did. I had a great time when playing that. I also believe back near the start is when we played the demo for The Pedestrian, which we have now since played the full version of. So that's kind of grown and evolved with us over the years as well. So, you know, there's been a lot of stuff that we've done on the channel. Now, of course, I can't go this entire 5-year anniversary video without mentioning the behemoth that is SCP Blackout. Now, the reason I call it a behemoth is because of how much that game has done for my channel. And me. Just everything. It's been so unbelievably brilliant for everything. It really has. So, I started SCP Blackout just because I wanted to play an SCP game. I'm a huge fan of the SCP universe and lore. So, when I found SCP Blackout, I was like, oh yeah, this looks decent. So I played it. And then yeah, that was good sentencing. I'll try that again. Then the developer of the game watched the video, and he actually said it was one of his favorite playthroughs thus far. That's a big deal. That's pretty cool. Because at that point, a lot of big YouTubers with thousands upon thousands, maybe even millions of subscribers have played it. And to have the dev watch a channel that's as small as mine is, and say that it was one of his favorites thus far was really humbling and heartwarming. It broke me, actually. I remember it broke me for a bit, because I was like, oh my god, this is cool. And obviously since then, I've kept in touch with the developer. I've even become good friends with the voice actor of the game. So, you know, things have evolved and changed because of SCP Blackout. I mean, I'm in the game. There is a poster of my channel's banner on the wall of an SCP cell. How cool is that? How cool is that? That is so unbelievably nice and kind of the devs to do. I cannot thank Kyle enough for just not everything he's done for both me and the channel, but just being willing to consider doing something like that. It's such a big and nice gesture. I know it probably didn't seem like it was for him. It might have done, I don't know. But for me, honestly, it made my year. It really did make my year. When I found that Easter egg, I mean, I was told about it. I was told about something regarding me going into the game, but I wasn't told exactly what it was. So when I found it, I mean, you could see the video and the reaction. I was blown away. It was so unbelievably cool. And obviously, since then, I've had quite a lot of, you know, contact with the dev. I played an early version of Outsiders, which was a game that he worked on for the Dread X collection. So I got to playtest that, which was awesome. Obviously, the voice actor has got into development himself. He's been making some of the horror maps that we've played on the channel. He's made his own game that we've played on the channel. So, you know, stuff's evolving and growing all the time, and the fact that I can be a part of that journey is absolutely fantastic. I cannot thank both of them enough for everything they have done. I really cannot. It's such a nice thing of them that I honestly don't feel like I deserve it. Like, there's so many bigger channels than me out there that would have brought them more, you know, more players in. It would have brought them more notoriety, but instead they chose to choose me. And why they did that, I guess I'll never know, but I can not thank them enough. I really can't. Now, I'm not also going to go this video without saying about what I'm going to regard the loud period of the channel. Because, let's just say, there are certain videos, in fact, no, there's a certain chunk of videos on the channel where my intro is ear-piercingly broken. Why? Because my headphones weren't working. Did I know that they weren't working properly? No. I had no idea. I thought they were good and they were just quiet. So what did I do? I cranked the volume up without looking at my equalizer. If you don't know, an equalizer kind of lets you know the threshold of where your volume's at, so if it peaks, it will be very loud and probably hurt your ears. So, actually no, let's rename what that's called. Let's not call it the loud period of the channel. Let's call it the ear bleeding period of the channel. The ear piercer. Yeah, we'll go with something like that, because there are a section of videos, maybe, I don't know, 7-8 months maybe worth of videos, where just the intro is a bit too loud. And don't worry, I got a barrage of comments telling me that my intros were way too loud. I had no idea, so, you know, I found it quite funny, but at the same time it was like, oh no, that's kind of just on the channel now, like, forever. So, that's that, I suppose. I can't really do much about that, but I apologize. It has been fixed since then. My headphones are functional now. Well, it's a new set of headphones, so, you know, it's fine. It's fine now. We're all good. I still can go quite loud sometimes, but I hope I don't cause your ears to bleed anymore. I really do hope that isn't the case. So, moving on, we have played a lot of great games on the channel. Some of which I was just gonna play in my own time, like Detroit Become Human. That was a fantastic series. I loved that game to pieces. I only played through it the once because I wanted the ending to feel like that was the ending I got. It wasn't the best ending. It was close to the best ending. I have since gone through the game again, but, you know, it wasn't the perfect ending. And you know what? That's fine, because it was a genuine blind playthrough of the game. I had no idea what my choices would do, whether it was the right choice, and that's how I like to play games. I always go into games as blind as I can, because then I can enjoy and be surprised by the experience. If I do so much research into a game that I know every little thing that's going to happen, it just won't be that fun. What's the point of doing that if you know what's going to happen? You know, it's like playing a big AAA game, having read the script for the story. What's the point? You know all the twists and turns and, you know, emotional value that it has, because you know the whole thing. There's just no point in that for me. So I usually say I found this game and I'm going in as blind as possible, because that is true. I look at maybe a screenshot or two, I play a game, I barely read the description unless I necessarily have to, and that's where that goes. I mean, there's been a lot of instances in games where I don't know what game I'm getting into, so I think a good example of that would be something like, I don't know, actually. I don't have a good example of that right now. I really don't. Oh, yes I do. The game Lisa. The game Lisa on the channel. I had no idea what I was getting into, but I was recommended to play it, and upon looking at just the cover art, all I looked at was the cover art. I was like, interesting. I'll give it a go. I gave it a go, and it was the most bizarre adventure I think I have been on to date. So, if you've not seen that series, I recommend you go watch that. It is a very, very bizarre game. It's very dark and horrifying, but it is very funny at the same time. I don't know, it's a weird and wacky experience. I did really enjoy the game. I did play the DLC for it as well, so, you know, it's one of those types of games where it's like, oh yeah, this is weird, you know? It really was absolutely bizarre. So something else I want to talk about is, well, it's something that became a yearly tradition. It wasn't planned to be a yearly tradition, but it just sort of ended up being the case. So on my first birthday on the channel, my birthday, not the channel's birthday, my own personal birthday, I just did a normal vlog type thing. And then when the year came up following, I was like, I don't want to just do another one of those. That just seems pointless. So, because E3 happened to fall alongside my birthday, I decided to do actually quite an ambitious thing, because I hadn't done it on the channel before. I did 5 videos in one day, and it was my E3 trailer reactions. I never did reaction content in that sense before, and I had a lot of fun with it. I saw some trailers for some very interesting games back then. I believe we saw The Last of Us, the very first teaser for the Elder Scrolls. I believe we had like a Tomb Raider trailer, and oh yes, how could I forget my excitement for Fallout 76. We all know how that went, and that's where I'm leaving that. But after that, after I did the 5 videos, which you can still watch today, like if you go back onto the channel and look for, even in my playlist, you can find my E3 trailer reactions. So there's 5 videos, all varied in length, where I just kind of watch some trailers and, you know, I try and give my honest opinion about them and kind of express my excitement. But I also try and get your feedback on them, because I really do enjoy making videos, but I want you guys to enjoy them as much as I am. And if there's certain games you want to see on the channel, getting that feedback from you will help a lot, because, you know, telling me what you want me to play will help me play it. Because if I see that multiple people want me to play a certain game, I'll be like, yeah, okay, I'll check this game out. I have no idea what it is, or I might know exactly what it is, and I'll check it out, because it could be a series that you guys want to see. But, you know, it's one of those things. So, as I mentioned SCP Blackout earlier, it goes without saying that I have made friends along the way. One of those friends includes the good old Sergeant Twinkletoes, who was a complete stranger to begin with. I believe this might be completely fabricated, but I believe, if my recollection of what happened is correct, he commented on one of my videos, and from there I clicked on his channel, watched a couple of his videos, and I really enjoyed them. So I reached out to the dude, because I was like, you know what? I want to collab with this guy. We're on a similar amount of subscribers. I hope he's down for it. And he was. We did a Gmod scary map. We did 2, actually. One for my channel and one for his. And it was awkward because we didn't know each other. It was very, you know, anxiety-inducing. But we had a good time, I think. I think once, like, the awkward intro and stuff was out the way, we kind of, I don't know, got to know one another. And as time went on, we played more and more games together, we became closer as friends, and, you know, we ended up doing quite a lot of videos together. He played on an episode of Enter the Gungeon, we did a Don't Starve Together series, where we died horribly, but we did that. And, you know, we just did all sorts of stuff. One of the games I remember, actually, was called Paunch, which, you know, was a weird game, but it was fun. We had good fun. So yeah, I've made friends along the way. I want to say we're good friends now. We talk occasionally. He's doing his own thing with his own life, and that's completely fine. You know, that he's doing what he wants to do, doing what he needs to do, and having a good time, I hope, when doing it. But, you know, I've made you know, multiple friends through YouTube. Now, obviously, we reached a point when I got my new computer, my current computer, the computer that I really do try and look after. I dedust it regularly. It does get hot sometimes, but that's because I have 2 graphics cards, because I was a stupid fool and decided to get 2 of them. So, you know, it's pretty cool. But at that point on the channel, we started playing games that I'd wanted to play for a while. I believe the 3 series that I started that I was hanging on for a new computer to start was the new Resident Evil 2 remake at the time, Subnautica, and Bendy and the Ink Machine. Those games were fantastic, and I'm very glad that I waited for my new computer to play those, and for me, that kind of marked a turning point for the channel, because I had to stop worrying about, could I run the game graphically? It wasn't an issue at that point anymore. It was just, will this game be fun to play, yes or no? And that's kind of where things took off. You'll probably notice throughout the years as well, I do like to mix up my content quite a bit, because I'll go from having, like, you know, a lot of puzzle games to a lot of indie games to a lot of bigger games to a lot of random horror games on the channel. I kind of go all over the place, but I've got quite an eclectic taste when it comes to video games. I'm a bit all over the place when it comes to what I enjoy doing, because I can enjoy anything from an RPG to a simple game where you're a little jelly cube rolling around, which was a game I played a long time ago. I think it was a little jelly cube. I don't really remember that one, to be honest. That was just the first thing that came to mind. Did I ever play a game where you're a little jelly cube? I think so. I honestly don't remember, but I am going through 5 years worth of content in my mind, and it probably got buried under there somewhere, so, you know, it's one of those things. If you do ever go through the channel, you'll know that I have grown a lot as a person. You can tell by the way I talk and my mannerisms about things, and kind of how I've grown as a person has helped the channel grow as a channel, because, you know, yep. But I've, you know, yeah, it's hard to explain, but you can probably tell what I'm talking about if you go through the channel and see where I was at compared to where I'm at now. Now, strangely enough, I saw a video of a game and I was like, huh, that looks fun, so I played it. And to date, it is my most viewed video on the channel so far. It has around 32,000 views, which is an insane amount for a channel of my size, and that is somehow Snaky Bus, a game I did not expect to be as popular as it was. It would amount to 100 odd views per episode, which was crazy, because all my other videos were getting around 20 to 30 views on average, so the fact that they would just jump up to 100 would be insane. Obviously, around that time, I also had Subnautica, which was quite a popular series, and I had SCP Blackout, of course, which was amounting quite a lot of views, actually. So, regarding those, because they were like the biggest series on my channel at the time, my other, we'll say common videos were amounting around 30 to, well, 40-ish views. So, in September of 2019, we hit our first big milestone. I reached 100 subscribers, which is insane to think that I had 100 people willing to stick around and engage with the videos at that point, and I remember making a heartfelt thank you video, because triple digits, that's quite a milestone to accomplish. But I remember that same year, literally the same year, I think in December, around December, reached 250 subscribers. So I more than doubled my sub count in less than a year, which was crazy for me. That was absolutely insane, and I cannot thank you guys enough for that. That was pretty cool, if you ask me. So I think at that point, because I had a few comments about it, I think it was like early, was it towards the end of the year, or was it the start of the year after? I think it was just into the next year. I created a Discord server and a Patreon page, which are still up and open. The Discord server doesn't really get used much, but I don't have that many members in it currently, and the Patreon is linked in the description if you wanted to check that out. I never really try pushing it on people, because I don't do this to make money. It would be a nice bonus if I made money, but you know, it's not my main priority with the channel. So if you want to check that out and support me, that would be greatly appreciated, but it's not necessary. So towards the end of 2020 was when I started having, I don't know, my wobbles on the channel, because I took, just before the end of 2020, I took 3 breaks. Now, not all of them were because of me. One of them was. I remember one of them was just because I was like, okay, I need to just pause for a bit, spend time with family, and just do stuff. Because at this point, we were bang in the middle of the pandemic that's going on. So, you know, I was just kind of staying to my bubble, spending time with the family that were in my bubble, and so on. So, you know, it's one of those things, and because I suffer with mental illness, it didn't really do me any good being... It's weird, because I stay at home most of the time anyway, but I have the choice to go outside. But being told that you cannot go outside and do certain things was a weird pressure for me mentally, and because I suffered with mental health problems anyway, I was a bit, distracted because of it. I was mentally exhausted because of it. So that's kind of why the breaks started happening. I was having a couple of technical difficulties, but it was early 2020, so we were bang in the middle, and then I had more technical difficulties. I carried on working on the channel, recording videos and so on, but I just couldn't get them to render. Then I had more problems with my computer, even though I look after it as much as I can, but that's just one of these things. It's how they happen. And, we're back now. Everything's good. I really do hope we don't have any more technical difficulties. I really do hope that. That would be great. That really would be great. And that brings us around to today-ish. Sort of. Yeah, it brings us to today. Goodbye 2021 happened, and I started uploading consistently again. Let's go! Let's try and keep it going, shall we? That'll be a good thing to do. Keep it consistent, keep it going, and have a good time when doing so. There's a lot of series that I have planned. There's a lot of series that we are currently doing. There's actually series that I've recorded that I've just not started on the channel yet because I don't want to overwhelm the channel with multiple series going at the same time, because that's already the case. We have Going the Distance, Stick It to the Stickman, Subnautica Below Zero, the Dread X Collection. We have a lot going on. We have a lot going on, so I'll probably wrap up some of the series before I start any new ones, and then we can just have a good time. Alright, and just like that, I think I'm going to conclude the 5-year anniversary special, because apparently that's what this video is now. It's an anniversary special. In fact, it's the only anniversary video we've really done. I mean, I did do my 100th video, and for some reason my 200th video, which are bizarre videos, by the way. Well, the second one is, the first one was a Assassin's Creed kill count challenge, which took a long time to make. A long time to make. It was a very early day of my editing style, and yeah, it's a bit all over the place. But you know what? It was fun. It was a milestone. It was something to celebrate. And since then, we've reached 100, 250, 500, and I'm hoping this year to reach 1,000 subscribers. If you told me when I started the channel that that would be one of my goals, to get to 1,000, I would have probably laughed and said there's no chance. I never thought I was going to hit 100, let alone 1,000, so the fact that we're almost there is so unbelievably cool, and I cannot thank you guys enough for that. If you've got parents or family, they don't necessarily need to watch the content, just get them to subscribe to support the channel, because, getting those numbers to tick up would be great. It really would be great, just to help me achieve my goal, and I don't often ask for people to subscribe, so, every little helps. Don't feel like you have to, because you don't. It's completely free, and you can always change your mind later, because that's what the cool YouTubers say nowadays, so, let's kind of go with that then. Oh god, this video. Oh, I hope you enjoyed. If you listened to me talk for as long as, however long this has been, thank you. Again, because, it's great. It's great that you're here. It's great that you're willing to sit down and listen to me ramble on about random crap for a long time. So, I always appreciate that. But for now, I think I'm going to leave that video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you think of the video, and I will see you soon.